Hi, John Maxwell here. On July 4th, my father passed away. And what I'm going to do is share with you a tribute to my dad. And it's the lessons that he taught me. He lived for 98 years and 8 months. And the first one I want to start with is what I'm really known for, but it's what I learned. It's what I observed. It's who my father was. And the lesson that my dad taught me to do was just basically add value to people. Every day, my dad got up for one purpose, and that is to make a day better for someone else, to lift them, to love them, to pour into them. And every day when my dad would put his head down at the pillow at night, there would be no doubt people that would come to his mind that he knew that he had contributed in a positive way to their life. I often talk about in relationships how that we're either a plus or a minus in our relationships. In other words, I'm either adding value to you, or to be honest with you, if I'm selfish and kind of into self-centeredness, I probably wear you out and take value from you and kind of, you see me coming and think, oh my gosh, I'm feeling bad already. Well, my father was not a plus in people's lives. He was a plus in people's lives. Often when I'm in conversation with people, like at dinner, I love to ask questions. And one of the questions I love to ask is, what's the best advice that you ever received and who gave it to you? And the best advice that I ever received was when I graduated from college, and I sat down with my father and I asked him to just give me what he thought would be the best career advice. How can I just do well? And I'll never forget, he said, John, 3 things. If you'll do these 3 things, I promise you'll do well. And what he shared with me that day, I have carried with me my entire life. And every time I teach, every time I write, every time I lead, I put it through the grid that my dad gave me that day, and I have found that it is absolutely the best advice I ever received. And here's what he said. He said, John, every day, value people, believe in people, and unconditionally love people. Those 3 things. He said, John, every day value people, because most people go through life and they've not been truly valued. Because they've not been truly valued, sometimes they don't even have the value that they have for themselves that they should have. So he said, lift people by letting them see not only who they are, which is already valuing people, but who they can become. He said, believe in people. Just look at people and believe the best, think the best, receive the best. He said, always stay in the best with people. He said, we are all human. Every one of us have our worst side. Wow. I mean, let's just talk about it for a moment, that there's probably a day in your life and in my life that we hope nobody ever knows about. I mean, we don't always operate on top level, but my father taught me that the best way to get people to live the best life is to believe in them. And then thirdly, he said, and this is the clincher, he said, unconditionally love them. He said, I could almost promise you, as you speak, as you lead, as you write, I can almost promise you that the person that you are communicating with has never been unconditionally loved. I mean, just loved, period. No strings attached. But he said, if you'll unconditionally love them, they'll immediately feel it. They'll experience it. And he said, John, you will be a people magnet. People will want to be around you because no one else gives them that unconditional love feeling. Incredible advice. We've all heard this statement that people will forget what you said. They'll even maybe forget what you did. But they won't forget how you made them feel. Unconditional love makes people feel something that no other way or other person can ever be given to them. It's a fact. And so I took my dad's advice, and I just value people, believe in people, unconditionally love them. I do that for you, but I do that for everyone. And I have found that that was the greatest advice I've ever received, and hopefully it'll help you. I'm sure it will.